Hi, I'm Raunaq Malhotra, and this is my video prompt response for the Summer Housing Assistant application for 2024. As an RA for the past 2.5 years, one of the things that's led me to apply to be a SHA is the same thing that led me to apply to be an RA. When I first came to Drexel in 2021 as a sophomore, right after the pandemic, I was an international student in a new country, in a new environment. What made me feel really comfortable in this new environment was my RA reaching out to me, offering herself as a resource for me to reach out to if I ever needed it, and checking in on me. Throughout the term, she also encouraged me a lot to get more involved with the community, put myself out there, and meet new people. The impact that she had on me is what led me to apply to be an RA. And since being an RA, I've seen the impact that I have had firsthand on my residents. And I want to be able to continue doing that in this position of summer housing assistant. When I see my residents hanging around in the lounge or in getting more involved with the Drexel community, I feel a sense of pride because I feel like I played a small part in helping them get more comfortable with the community and helping them put themselves out there in the community and get more involved with it. And I want to do the same thing as SHA. From my experience as SHA last year, I know that this role can be challenging and it always has new experiences to offer. And that's what I'm looking for out of this role. I'm looking for new experiences to have, new opportunities to learn from, and to become not only a better resident assistant or a SHA, but to also become a better individual. At the same time, I'm also looking to have fun with my residents. The events that I plan, the floor interactions that I have, I want to learn more about where they come from, their diverse cultures, and just meet new people and possibly even make new friends. And I believe three of my greatest strengths will help me become a better SHA on a regular basis. My greatest strength that I believe I have is me being inclusive. Another strength that I believe I have is me being empathetic, and another strength which I believe will be great, really helpful for me as a SHA, that I have is me being communicative. As a person belonging to the LGBTQ community and born and raised in a developing country, I have firsthand experienced how important it is to have an inclusive community, a diverse community around you, and to feel included, to feel that you're comfortable and safe wherever you are. And that's what I strive to do as an RA as well. And that's what I want to do as a SHA. I want to make the residents feel included, feel comfortable, and feel safe in the community that they're living in. Another strength that I have is being empathetic. I feel like empathy goes a long way, especially when you actually put yourself out there and try to understand where the other person is coming from. It makes you a better person and it makes you a better SHA, a resident assistant, a teaching assistant, or whatever role that you're in. When the people that you're serving can actually reach out to you and feel comfortable enough to talk to you and feel listened and validated, that helps me help them. And it also creates a better experience for them. And that's what I want to do in the SHA role as well. My last trend that I believe will be very beneficial for me as a SHA is being communicative. I've always been a very communicative person, whether it's in my resident assistant role, whether it's my teaching assistant role, whether it's on co-op or in academics. I like to keep everyone around me in the loop, involved. If it's my supervisor, if it's my other students or other like residents or like teammates that I'm working on. And I believe if we're on the same page, it just like helps the other person to understand where I'm coming from, helps me understand where they're coming from, and helps make everything smoother and faster. In fact, I've been able to employ this strength of being very communicative in one of the situations where I had to work with someone who I had a different personality style and who I had a different working style from. When I was a freshman in 2020 and everything was remote, I was part of a group project, a software project, which lasted over 2 quarters or 20 weeks, where I was the project manager. In that software project, one of the things that I decided was since everything was remote, we would meet every week virtually, and but throughout the week, we would work on four different tasks individually. And every week that we would meet, we would like update each other on the progress and keep everyone on the same page. However, one of the things that I noticed was another member going in and actually changing the code, since it was a software project, changing the software code of other people since he thought it would be there was a better approach to do so, and he would change it. And when the original author would go in, they would be very confused as to what was changed, and then they would have to kind of start over, and it slowed down the progress of the team overall. I reached out to the person who was doing that because the concerns were raised to me as project manager, and I was actually able to understand where they were coming from. While their intention was good of making everything better and finding a better way to do the same thing, the approach that they were using was not the best for the team. So I suggested that we instead of splitting up in individually and working on 4 tasks, we would split up in pairs and work on 2 tasks at a time and then convene and meet together. However, that also did not help because the one team member kept doing that again and again and kept causing the same problems. So then I thought to involve the professor and have her input taken in and have a team meeting. The professor basically told us to either split up and join different teams or to continue doing what we were doing and find better ways to do it. So in the end, ultimately, we landed on the decision to split up and join different teams halfway through the project. And even though the ultimate impact wasn't successful, we were able to learn from each other. Especially, I was able to learn a lot from the other person that I was working with. I learned how to be more adaptable in different situations. I learned how to be more empathetic and understand where they're coming from. And that's why I believe empathy is such a great skill of mine. And I also learned that, there's always a better way to do something. That's what the other person taught me. That they taught me that to always find something better, to always continue to improve yourself, to always strive for perfection, even if perfection doesn't exist, trying to make yourself better in any way you can, it goes a long way. And that's what I try to employ in my daily life as well. I believe in the SHA role, customer service is also very important. And a good customer service experience, according to me, is one where I feel listened, I feel that I'm heard, even if I cannot be given the answer that I'm immediately looking for. And that's what I try to do as if I'm on the other side of the customer service trying to provide an answer to a customer. I'm empathetic, I listen to them, I communicate where I'm coming from, I try to make them understand what the situation is and how I'm restricted if I am restricted, and I try to help them to the best of my capabilities and do whatever it's in my control. If I'm ever placed in a difficult position where I have to explain to a person that I cannot actually give them the answer that they are looking for, I would first take the time to understand where they're coming from, listen to them, be empathetic, and be like polite, be clear, be communicative, and tell them that, even I understand where they're coming from. I can totally relate to them, but my hands are kind of tied and I can only do what's in my control. I can only give them the answers which I'm allowed to give and not more than that. And even though I cannot provide immediate solutions, I can always redirect them to resources which will help them answer their questions better and help them get what they're looking for, basically. And I kind of also did that when I was in a situation which I had to de-escalate. When I was an RA last year, and I was on duty, I was doing my desk shift with another desk assistant, and a concerned mother called the desk assistant, immediately asking them to talk to the manager of the building. The desk assistant gave the phone to me, and when I talked to the mother, I could understand that she was distressed because she had not talked to her son for over a week, and she was just getting worried where they were and what he was doing. And she like really urged me to, you know, go and tell them what was going on otherwise they would have to call the police, and because she was getting like really worried, and she asked to speak to the building manager. She wanted her son to call her back, and the first thing that I did was listen to her, but at the same time, I also tried to calm her down. I tried to make sure that I explained to her my position and that I was not authorized to tell her whether her son actually lived in this building or not, but I would definitely escalate the situation up to my RD. That's what I did as well. I escalated the situation up to my RD. I helped her calm down, and I told her that I will do everything in my power to, help her out. I also, as the RA on duty, I also reached out to the resident, hoped to like explain to them that what was the situation and what their mother was asking, and I also helped them call their mother just so that they could talk to them, and that's how I was able to de-escalate the situation. So using the skills of empathy, communication with my supervisor, communication with the customer as well, I was not only able to provide good customer service, what I believe with good customer service, but at the same time de-escalate the situation, and at the same time help the customer in need and actually, like, resolve the situation as the RA on duty. Thank you. That was all my answers, and I hope you learned a lot about me, and I look forward to hearing back from you.